Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're in the GCMS computer here, and we're going to go to our data analysis software. This is the data analysis software. And with the data analysis software here, we're going to identify whatever file we want to analyze. And the first one we'll do is this tomato short chain. So I'll double click on it, and it'll bring up the file name here. This is the chromatogram. And then I click right here and make sure that this says what it says right here, NIST 08, right, to this path. And we say OK, and then I click right here and say OK, and then it's going to generate a report. And here's the report that it generated. Now I have to highlight the whole thing to get all this information into Excel so that I can transfer it a little bit better, or manipulate it a little bit better. So I right click, copy, or Control C, and then I go into Excel file here. And I want to go into open a new file, so I'll go new workbook here, and then I right click and paste the data somewhere. Now all this data is in one column, but none of these are separate cells, so we need to convert the text to column with this text to column function. And I go to text to column, make sure it says fixed width, and then I say next, and then I can go over to the end here and I can scroll down a little bit to see why I'm doing this. But what I need to do is I need to make sure that this line goes right up against the qual factor like that, because some of these numbers are bigger, so the qual factors get scooted over. So when I'm done doing that, I can say finish. And now all of these data are in their own cells. So this is the CAS number of the chemical. This column right here is the chemical's name, and this is the qual factor. And those are the things we're really after. So if we highlight these 4 rows here and then say sort, which is in the data ribbon also, we say sort, and we can sort by column H, which is the qual factor here, and we can go largest to smallest, so it'll bring the most likely components in our material up for top there. Alright, we can get rid of the rest of these columns now. We don't need these anymore, and I'm going to actually insert some to kind of move it towards the middle here. And we can also get rid of these rows here that aren't anything, so I'm going to say delete there. Alright, and I can double click right here and it'll expand this so I can see the whole name of my chemicals. Right? And I can go down here, and I really am not interested in chemicals that have a qual factor less than 50 at this point. So this right here is the one less than 50, so I can scroll all the way to the bottom here, and I can push shift and then click right there, and so now it's selecting all those extra rows that I don't need.
Shift and you push what?
I just clicked where I wanted to be, so I clicked up here, and then I push shift, hold down shift,
right, and
then I select down below, and so it selects that whole region.
Oh, I got you.
And then I can right click here and I can say delete. So then I have a nice number of 61 chemicals that I have to deal with here. Does that make sense? 61 chemicals that have a qual factor of 50 or above.
How do you know it's 61? Oh,
because I just saw this number over here. Yeah.
Side, right.
Now I don't need repeats, right? So I can highlight this data again and sort it again, but this time I'll sort it by I, which is the chemical name. And so it'll put them in order of the different chemicals that we have. And I can get rid of some of these here. I guess I'm just going to scoot it over a little bit here. I can get rid of any ones that are repeating here over and over and over. Does that make sense? So I'll right click on that and say delete. Alright, because all those are the same chemical. You can also tell if they're the same chemical because these two names right here, numbers will be the same. This number here, this row right here, is the library number, and we really don't need that number, so we can delete that. So now we have the name, the CAS number, and the qual factor, and those are all important things. So here's a couple more repeats. I'm deleting those. These ones, 4 different repeats here, so I can delete the 3 of them. Does that make sense? And then we have one repeat there, so I can delete that one. This one is a repeat. Does that make sense? See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm just going through and looking for ones that have the same number. Oh, here's one, methylene chloride. That was the chemical that we used to, that we dissolved the stuff in. Does that make sense? So, here's another repeat. Here's a couple more repeats, right? Here's one more repeat. All right, that looks like it, right? So a total of 26 different chemicals.
What's that very last chemical?
This thing, I don't know. I don't know. It cut off the name. We didn't get the name.
Oh.
To
Okay.
really find out, you take this number here,
Right.
and you copy it, and we go to Google here, and we paste it into Google. It's going to think it's a math problem. So let's write chemical. Oops. Let's try CAS number. Oh. I don't know. A way we could find out is to take this value, Control C, copy it, and then go back to this report, and then in this report, click Control F. Does this have a search function? That one doesn't have a search function, does it? And we can just try to scroll through here and see if we can find what that 22222 thing is.
Oh, there it is.
Where? Oh, here it is,
Almost
up here.
at the top, yeah.
So this is the full name of it, right?
Oh.
Let's see, where is the full name? Yeah, that's its name there. So if we take that name and go to Google. Didn't paste very well. We also need to get rid of this number between. There we go. Let's see if we can find anything. Come on in. You got some movies? Yeah. Awesome. So that's what it is.
Wow.
Crazy business. Hard to say if it's really.
So ethanol. That means one catch at the end there.
That's just this little. That means just this little part right there.
I see.
That's an interesting chemical, though.
I see.
Polyethylene. Yeah, it's hard to say if that's really legitimate. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to